Hello YouTube, this is Southern Wolverine and welcome to another Shogun Total War 2v2 battle. This is actually one from the early days of my modern general, and as you can see I have a large funds battle here going, and I have at this time no veteran troops. I am fielding Red Bear infantry, which is literally the best infantry I can have at this point, and a whole lot of them. So I believe it's about 8 units here, and I have a mixed melee force behind them, 4 Katanakachi, 4 spear levies, and then in the woods to my extreme right I've got hidden 4 units of Yari Ki. They will play a crucial role in this battle as you'll see going forward. Now my ally here, Mr. Patrick, has a line of White Bear infantry, and he has 1 veteran unit of these Red Bear infantry, the American Black Bears, and right behind them is a line of Bokachi, most of them on veteran as well, and he also has a melee line composing mostly of Katanakachi with a spear levy unit there thrown in. He's also got a unit of wooden cannons up on the hill, and 3 units of Yari Ki as his cavalry reinforcement. Now we are both low skilled generals, low stars. Our opponents here have way more stars than we do, as you can already see. Oren Milla here has this unit of Imperial Guard cavalry, 3 units of Yari Ki, some sharpshooters, and he's got a line of 4 units of Imperial Guard infantry or Imperial infantry. And he has a couple of Shinsengumi police force and a single unit of Bokachi. He also has this unit of Armstrong guns, which is being protected by the Kyoto police. That's just one of the better spear units available to the modern armies. The other opponent here, Shomimo Juice, has a similar arrangement. He's got Yari Kachi protecting a unit of Armstrong guns, and then he has 5 Imperial infantry, and he has some more troops that are hidden in this area that are going to attempt to launch an ambush through this forest on our left flank. So without further ado, let's just get this battle started and see what happens. So now me and Patrick, being reasonably new players, we didn't immediately scan the opposing force as well as we could have. I certainly did not see that there were 2 units of Armstrong guns. So we're just going to start off sort of pushing this crest through the middle of the map here in an attempt to take an advantageous position. Now you see immediately Shomimo Juice is moving his guns, and he'll start moving his infantry as well up this hill with the intention of basically turning this hill into the Shogun Total War equivalent of Gibraltar. With the 2 Armstrong guns here and the superior infantry on this hill, this would be very, very difficult for our unvetted, lower ranked troops to really have any chance of taking this hill. He's also, Oren Milla has also moved his cavalry well out to the flank, so that in the case that we do attempt a mass assault on the hill, they're going to be able to run interference. These guys are in a very threatening position in the case that we're to make a frontal assault on his infantry line. And now as we start taking this artillery barrage, my first instinct is to close the distance. Now that probably would have been a disaster. As I was just talking about, this hill with this elevated position with the 2 units of Armstrong guns up there could have really done a number on our troops, damaged the morale of our already lower morale troops. My ally here convinced me that it was a better idea to pull back behind this hill, basically to stay out of the range of the Armstrong guns and to try to force these guys to come to us. So his intent, of course, is to use this unit, this combination of the White Bear infantry plus Bokachi. If you look at their range, because the Bokachi have longer range, their range is about the same. So he's attempting to use these guys to supplement the firepower of his, inferior quality infantry, which is a decent idea. I'm not sure how well it actually works in practice, as things kind of start going crazy on us here. But in any case, I've got my infantry now pulling back. As you see my my destination here, we're forming kind of an angled line. Melee troops to the rear, and I've got my cavalry lurking in these woods. I'm prepared that if these guys come in, I want to try to ambush them and eliminate his cavalry force. And if I can manage to do that, then we'll have some interesting possibilities. Now, this is the big ambush from Shogun Juice. He's got these 2 units of Tosa riflemen who've snuck up. You can see them at the moment because they're moving, but you'll see as soon as they stop, they disappear. And now they're just going to be able to continue to pour fire on basically the one veteran unit in our army. And they're just going to start to damage this flank extremely badly if Patrick doesn't do anything about it. Now I'm really too far away to affect this battle too much, so he's going to immediately respond with cavalry, with the hope of running these guys down, no doubt. So as these guys close, you'll see the second part of Shogun Juice's ambush, which is these 4 units of Yariki that are deployed in the woods and are now going to just charge and counterattack with a fury that we're not really going to be able to match. So this unit of Yariki that Patrick here sent into the fight is just totally overmatched. They have routed this one unit of Tosa riflemen, but they're not shattered, so they'll be able to return the battle potentially. Now that these Yariki have been revealed, though, it sort of forced the action because Juice is now charging these guys into the line, and there's going to be a major brawl ensuing here. These infantry have been engaged. He's now going to start bringing over the rear of his cavalry, as well as these Katanakachi are also going to join the fight, just to try to throw these cavalry back by weight of numbers. These cavalry, or rather these artillery up on the hill, are also shooting into the fight, although, they haven't done a whole lot of damage. 5 kills to this point. However, the numbers and the artillery is doing damage to his morale, whatever else you say about it. So these cavalry are going to withdraw, and then the assault on the Tosa riflemen will resume. Because the last thing we need is these guys in this forest just continuing to shoot at us. So this skirmish is starting to go Patrick's way. Meanwhile, I've mainly just been holding my ground as Orunmila now realizes that we have no intention of assaulting his hill, so he's begun to move his forces out. This unit of sharpshooters is potentially a nasty unit. I have no intention of standing on top of this hill to let them use their range advantage, which is going to make them a little bit more difficult to use than perhaps he would have liked. But so far, all the action has been over here with Patrick. Now, these units of Yariki did regroup out here. So Shogun Juice has not realized that yet. Now he finally has, and he's going to start to move them forward. Patrick caught on to that, and you're going to see a couple of units of his cavalry start to move out. So this skirmish, we held the line. I say we, I'm really giving Patrick all the credit here because I really didn't do anything. And one of these units, at least the Tosa riflemen, is also regrouped, so they're not out of the fight either. You're going to see this one unit of Yariki with their excellent charge bonus basically get the jump on 3 units of the opposing Yariki, and they're going to do really an inordinate amount of damage considering how badly outnumbered they are. So you see how fast their kills are going to start rising. And we're getting some waivers in these Yariki. So this is a good move, even though his cavalry's been badly beaten up for Patrick to come out here and try to get the jump on these guys before they get around to the rear lines. And those wooden cannons up on the hill there are still shooting down to try to get these guys. But really they had no hope of winning that fight. They did damage. They did a lot of damage. They routed a unit. This one's wavering. And these units are both below half strength. So basically you're looking at a single unit of Yariki here. So that was worth the exchange. So now he's going to come up the hill, Juice is, and try to take out these cannons, while Patrick is bringing over his last unit. I believe it's his last unit of cavalry, as well as some of his katana troops, to try to intercept these guys. So here they're wavering from the presence of enemy troops, as well as the artillery fire. These guys are going to be attacked by a full-strength Yariki unit. So you're going to see these two cavalry units are going to rout off the battlefield. And that's it for Juice's cavalry force, and his ambush has basically been defeated at this point. So the first phase of the battle here has now been concluded. That's really going to be it for skirmishing. That was actually a bigger victory for us than I realized, because I hadn't been paying too close of attention. So I've really been watching Oren Milla for the whole battle, just to make sure he wasn't going to move his cavalry up and get the jump on me. You see he is moving my flank. I still don't want to reveal my cavalry. I want to save them to try to surprise him. So what I'm doing is I'm showing that these two units, basically running the spear levy into the woods, as if I'm panicking and, you know, oh no, I gotta move spears to the flank to protect myself from these cavalry. Because really I want him to try to make a strike and let my own cavalry see I'm just walking them, trying to keep them hidden, in the hopes that I can get a good ambush on these guys. He's not taking the bait. He knows that I probably have more stuff hidden in those woods. So he's pulling his cavalry force back, basically to protect his infantry, and he leaves these missile cavalry out here to try to put the hurt on these guys, I suppose. Although I'm going to be hidden here as soon as I stop, so he's really not going to be able to do a lot of damage there. He'll get one volley off, and then these guys will be hidden, and these guys really won't want to advance any closer to that. Alright, so now we're preparing to engage in the infantry battle proper. The sharpshooters have moved to the crest of the hill. I'm still in no hurry to engage them, but I'm going to start moving my line forward. Perhaps if I can get numbers on this unit, I can drive them back. Meanwhile, I'm still not sure what to do with my my reinforcement troops and my melee troops. I did peel off 2 spear infantry to go to that flank, and that's really all I've managed to do with them so far. At this point, I'm bringing these guys out as a distraction force, and I've revealed the cavalry to begin a sweep. Now I'm faking here as if I'm going after his Armstrong guns and his general, so he comes out to stop me, and what I do is I turn these 2 units back into the fight, and it's going to give me not an entire surround, but it's going to get a pretty good partial encirclement on these guys. He realizes they're outmatched, and with my spears fainting as if they're going to join the fight, he's going to try to peel out of that. At this point, I'm like, well, you know, I might as well do what I was pretending I was going to do, since his cavalry's drawn off in the other direction. I'm just leaving my spears here to guard my flank, and I'm going to engage in what hopefully is a decisive cavalry sweep with my 4 units of Yariki, somewhat depleted from that cavalry battle. So here, let's come up to his general and his Armstrong guns. And I was expecting that these cavalry would start chasing me down a lot sooner than that, to be honest with you. Not sure quite what he thought was happening. So, if I can kill their general, I know I'll have a morale advantage, and of course taking out those Armstrong guns would be a huge boost, since they're basically what's pinning us behind that hill at the moment. Meanwhile, he's formed this sort of hook formation you see over there to make it difficult for me to outflank him. And here you go, now here goes his Armstrong guns. So really, this cavalry strike is already doing its job. They're routed, so I'm just going to charge downhill. At this point, I finally realized that Juice also has a unit of Armstrong guns. So you see there the Yariki diverted to go after them. And I'm also going to take out this unit of Armstrong guns, who really has no chance against all these cavalry. And in order to keep momentum, since Juice now has responded with his Yariki, he's realized how much damage I could do in the backfield here. Now this cavalry strike will continue. Just ordered him right past that artillery unit. And I'm going to attack Juice's general, who's very quickly wavering, having been attacked in the rear, and he's losing decisively. So now that general unit is routing and lost most of its men. And at this point I know I'm not getting these cavalry back. So in support of my ally, this missile engagement you see hasn't started yet, but it's getting ready to. This is a little bow exchange there, I guess. But I'm just going to do what damage I can to this melee line. Routed that unit, routed this unit, and finally now Ornmilla's cavalry has rejoined the fight. And there's really no way that these cavalry are going to now escape from this fight. Really, that was one hell of a cavalry sweep for me, and it's given my ally a huge advantage in this infantry fight, as well as taking out both units of artillery and one of the generals. So at this point, I'm going to just sort of let these guys fight to the death. They've done their job. Juice is pretty much reduced to this one unit of Imperial Infantry and one unit of Yari Kachi over here. He's still got this unit out here, but they're not really going to be able to do much to affect the fight. Alright, so now we're back to the infantry engagement. The cavalry being mainly spent. He's been using his archers while I'm not paying attention to whittle down this unit of red bears. So they're able to shoot over the top of that hill. You see my missile troops don't have a line of sight. And that guy got one right in the head. That's a real shame. So as soon as I realize what's happening, I'm going to have to push my line forward to try to get these guys out of there. And I'm going to also attempt to use my numbers and get to the edge here. Because if I can take this unit out with, you know, having 2 or 3 units shoot at it, my hope is to peel this flank back. I've also got units advancing up through the trees there to see if I can get the other flank and maybe curl that flank back as well. I've also got these 2 spear levies coming up into these woods. Hopefully these trees will protect them. They can get a good melee assault here on these troops. I was a little bit worried about Ornmilla's cavalry coming back into the fight with the infantry. There's not much I can do about that right now except try to keep spears in place. My own cavalry having been expended in that big cavalry sweep. So now we're just general engagement of our melee lines, or our missile lines rather. And I'm trying to use what I can with these spear levies coming in. See, they are able to drive these sharpshooters back, which is a win, which gives me the flank with these missile troops. Now these red bears are going to be able to shoot at these guys and get numbers on this unit of Imperial Infantry. So this was maybe a little bit too aggressive for me, but in an attempt to get something out of these guys and some distraction force, I'm just going to bring them right into this Shitsugumi police force, who unfortunately for me actually has decent melee stats. They actually have, if anything, better melee stats than my spears, but it will keep them from shooting. It will keep them from reinforcing the main fight. And I'm going to go ahead and pour a second unit in here to try and get numbers. So my levies aren't doing great in this fight, but they're holding these guys, they're pushing onto the flank, and they're giving me my 2-on-1 advantage here that I wanted. So these Imperial Infantry aren't going to stand under that kind of firepower, and you're going to see units start to break from this end going in the other direction. Meanwhile over here I'm doing a similar disruption attack with these spear levies. We're able to get in a lot cleaner than the other side. They didn't take any fire, and they're going to be able to engage these Shinsengumi police force while my missile troops are coming up. This other spear levy is going to look to try to get at this guard cavalry while they're trying to bolster the missile line here. So I'm able to catch these guys with a unit of spears. And at this point, this battle's just sort of turned into a brawl. You see my center did break, but having suffered so many army losses, Ornmilla's army finally can't take it anymore and suffers a mass rout. Alright, so here we have the battle results screen. Unsurprisingly, myself and Patrick, you see I've obviously changed my gamer tag since this battle was played. We having lower tier armies and not having veteran troops of any description fielded way more guys, and yet the kills were relatively even between the two armies. However, we could afford the losses and they couldn't. The loss of those 2 units of Armstrong guns to basically no effect really hurt the opposing allies' chances in that fight. And the skirmish battle on the left, the Juice's attempted ambush didn't really play out as well as he would have liked. So let's quick show the unit statistics before we close this out. Surprisingly, my unit of Red Bear infantry, this must have been the unit on the flank, was able to do decent damage. And then, of course, the next 4 units were all 4 of my Yari Ki. These guys definitely were the stars of the battle, as far as I'm concerned. That cavalry sweep really changed the complexion of the battle. and gave us the opportunity to play more aggressively, having taken those Armstrongs out of the fight, as well as costing Oren Miller a great portion of his cavalry, and Juice both his general and a couple units of his infantry. So good game to everybody involved, particularly my ally here, Patrick, who's playing as Imric Ruler Irish Brigade in this game. I went on to play a number of games with him, so if you see any future replays, you might see him again. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Southern Wolverine signing off.